San Francisco. A protest against Ron Luce and his army of Christian conservative youth.
We're heading to the rally.
I rode with Luce to City Hall, where he and his followers were planning a demonstration of their own.
We want you to be part of God's army.
He professes not to understand the anger.
What do you expect? What did you have last year?
Well, we were shocked last year with the amount of anger and hostility from the protesters.
They don't belong here.
But how shocked could he be? After all, BattleCry is being staged in arguably the most liberal city in America.
This city is all about joy, not about hate.
BattleCry is a tool to make the kids into little fascist zombies.
This year, their reception would be just as noisy. This is the intersection of faith and the secular world.
Jesus!
Thank you, God, that we have freedom in this place, God.
Mindy Peterson, the student we met in Texas, was at the rally leading a prayer for the BattleCry crowd.
God, I ask that as we do this battle cry, Lord, that you would reveal yourself to the teenagers, God, here, God.
Let me hear you say, Christian fascists.
How many want to turn your generation around? In the midst of a culture that mocks Christians, calls us bigots, puts us down, we cannot keep the good news to ourselves.
Do you consider being gay a crime or a sin?
A crime?
A crime, a sin?
Well, you know, we believe in purity. According to the Bible, it's not God's plan. There's a lot of data that shows that gay men have a significantly shorter lifespan.
Honey, it's fine! I guess many people want to know why you would bring this message into this state at this time, given the polarization. And the message, they say, is very divisive rather than inclusive.
The message of Jesus was divisive as well. You know, so much of our culture has become grade. You know, there's really not a right, really not a wrong. And really, that's not the message of the Bible. Wrong things will hurt you and destroy you. And these kids are choosing the right thing and choosing to live with purity.
I tracked Mindy down to get her take on the rally.
There's one misconception that has happened today at this rally, and that is that these people think that our war is against other people. They think that our war is against man, and our war isn't. Our war is against like the pain in teenagers' hearts, like depression, alcoholism, those things that are like tearing our teenagers apart.
Our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above.
Wandering through the crowd, I was surprised to find children as young as 11 enlisted in God's army.
So what is it like being a Christian at school?
It really scares me to see people at such a young age, in middle school age, having sex and getting pregnant.
People you know of your age?
I know
Higher
someone
grades.
in 6th grade that has had sex before.
Kids in your class are doing drugs and having sex?
They're doing drugs and having sex, and they're not really even thinking anything about it. They're just saying, well, oh well, it's just an action.
And what are you girls going to do? Be celibate till you're married?
We'll stay pure. We made a commitment. We had a purity night, and we made a commitment to God to stay pure until marriage.
Is an awesome God. He reigns.
The demonstrations had ended, and BattleCry was about to begin. For 2 days, I watched as teenagers headbanged their way through a combination rock concert and religious revival, shouting out their morality.
Each of us needs to shape the culture.
And fighting back against what they call a toxic secular society.
What if we right here tonight in San Francisco, we kept it raw, passion for God? I want something so real, each and every part of my life that kills my passion for God.
But in the midst of all that fervor and noise, what struck me was one woman in the wings,
Take my breath away. I wanna be
alone and singing to herself, as if she were in a trance.
Who are you singing to?
The Lord, I'm just worshiping
worshiping God. This ministry changed my life, you know? And it's just really overwhelming because people come here and their lives really get changed. And I sing because I know that what I have inside of me is real. And it doesn't matter who protests, and it doesn't matter who asks questions. I know that what I have inside of me is real, and it changed my life. And it's a man, and his name is Jesus Christ.
Leave the old life behind, it's dead.
On stage, Ron Luce was looking for commitment. He called his followers to the altar, asking them to embrace a life guided by God.
If you're on your knees, would you just begin to pour your heart out to him? Just tell him.
Move your spirit, God.
Just tell him, God, I'm yours.
Think about it. Wrestle with it.
And when you're ready to surrender, jump to your feet and scream as loud as you can, I want the cross!
I want the cross!
As the evening came to an end, Ron Luce walked through the crowd, hugging, touching, embracing for Jesus.
You know, kids are hurting, and as long as they're hurting broken young people, then I've got a job.
As we've seen over the 6 hours of our series on God's warriors, there are millions of people who feel their faith is being ignored, has been pushed aside, and who are certain they know how to make the world right. We cannot and should not ignore them. And with this report, we have tried to explain them. I'm Christiane Amanpour. Thank you for joining me.